I was born in Orlando.
I'm from Marietta, Georgia.
We moved up here when I was 5 weeks old.
My family moved up here when I was 5, 6 years old.
And we have lived in Maryville for 30 years now.
Got 2 older brothers. Graduated high school in 2006.
And graduated from Maryville High School in 2005.
I'm the youngest of 2 other siblings. About a 15-year difference between me and the next brother.
I have a younger brother. His name is Steven. Our love for football came from him. He started playing football at a very young age at 6. He's in the Army now. We miss him dearly, but we're very proud of who he is.
Joined the Marine Corps when I was right out of high school. Did 5 years in the Marine Corps.
I went to Tennessee Tech for business management.
After that, I went to Fountainhead College for my bachelor's in security and forensics.
And then moved back to Maryville pretty quickly after that.
That's when I met Jennifer when I was in school, finished up my associate's degree.
I love this town, love this area. It's beautiful, it's home, and I couldn't imagine living anywhere else.
Jennifer and I met on ChristianMingle.com.
We actually met on Christian Mingle.
We talked for about, I guess it was about 4 or 5 weeks online, texting.
I went online and Ernest was the very first one that I had found, and we had a lot in common.
And we made a couple phone calls and we decided to meet one day after we got out of class for a movie, Trouble with the Curve.
You know, we both have a love for baseball and the Braves. And so we decided that would be, a good movie for both of us to see.
Class ran over.
I arrived early, and it was coming really close to the time for the movie to start, and I hadn't heard from him, and he's not there, and he's running late.
Driving pretty aggressively, trying to get back to Maryville for the movie, to get back to the movie theater, and finally showed up right as the movie was starting.
And after the movie, we talked for about an hour, and we're inseparable basically ever since.
The first impression of Jennifer, I was like, wow, she's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen.
When he walked through the door, I thought he was very handsome.
We're very lucky to be able to meet somebody like her online.
We do not love the same football team. He was a Georgia fan, and I'm definitely a UT fan.
Dating Jennifer it's very, very comforting. There's never a dull moment, but at the same time, you don't have to worry about trying to be somebody else.
Georgia, it's okay. I can put up with Georgia. It's a good school. I didn't really ever know anything about the Bulldogs until I met him.
So you can always be yourself around Jennifer.
Having a Bulldog was different for sure, and so I got to learn quite a bit about Bulldog football over the last few years.
Very thankful.
I think he said I love you first.
I said I loved her first. It's probably about 6 or 7 months in, I would say.
We both, had strong feelings.
You want to make sure that's who you want that to be the last person you say that to.
I think we were at my house.
I made sure this time that was who I wanted to be, the one to tell that to the rest of my life.
I didn't leave him hanging for sure, so I did say it back.
So it was pretty much all downhill from there. I mean, we knew from that point on that we were really excited about the future from there. I knew Jennifer was the one I wanted to marry pretty quickly.
He is a very generous and caring individual, very kind and patient.
Probably after the first few dates, I would say, to be honest, is because the physical attraction was there when we first met.
Loving as he was with all of my animals, all of our dogs, and just how my family accepted him pretty quickly on, and he just fit with all of us, and he fit with me.
And I knew from then on, this is I could see a future with her.
I just knew that this is the one that God had chosen for me. The proposal was a dream.
She's very hard to surprise. I planned it for several months because I wanted to make sure I was in a stable job before we took that step. I called her dad on the side, and without nobody else knowing, just to ask his permission. I was more nervous about that than actual proposing.
It was in Biltmore, and I love Biltmore. Had a wonderful lunch at the stable restaurant, very relaxing. I kind of wanted to go straight into the house.
Like, no, let's go to the garden. Let's go let our food settle from lunch, and let's go walk around the garden for a little bit.
He was calm, and I didn't really think anything was, it's another day at Biltmore, and we were walking in the gardens. We went to the left, and I was talking, and every once in a while he'll be like right beside me, or he was, a few steps behind me, but I didn't think anything of it.
Kind of took it a couple steps back, kind of pulled her hand a little bit. She kind of stopped, turned around, and that's when I had already gotten down on one knee in gravel in shorts on my dad. And
I turned around, and he was on one knee, and I was completely shocked. Didn't know that it was coming at all.
Had the ring out, asked her if you marry me.
It was amazing. I think I was speechless for about 45 seconds, which for anybody that knows me, that's not common.
Yes, no, my knee's hurting.
It was kind of a out-of-body experience. I was such in shock. I really didn't have a clue that this was happening.
She finally said yes and got up, hugged, and next thing we know, there's somebody off in the distance. Can we take your picture?
It's exactly what I wanted. It was very intimate between the two of us, and it was amazing.
Jennifer's a very supportive person. She supports me in everything I've done and going through.
I'm very career driven and love my job and love my family and my animals, and he is supportive in many different ways. He is supportive when I need somebody to talk to and talk about a day I have or a frustrating time that I've dealt with.
I don't know what I would do without that support.
He's the most supportive person and encouraging person I've known. My favorite characteristic about Ernest is his passion. You can tell when he is very passionate about something, he is wholehearted about it, 100%.
She's very high on integrity. She cuts no corners, everything's by the book.
Head down, going to do the right thing, and he is passionate about a lot of things.
Very passionate in everything that she does, whether it's work, Tennessee football when they're good sometimes.
Anybody will tell you that when they talk to Ernest, that he is extremely passionate about his Georgia, the state of Georgia in its entirety, no matter what sport it is.
Our pros about each other, mine and hers, just strengthens our feelings about each other that much more. The thing about Jennifer that really drives me nuts can kind of be comparison to what I like about her the most is that she does plan so well and does everything by the book, is that it can lead to a little bit of paranoia on her part as far as too many what ifs and what could go wrong.
Sometimes he wants to talk about sports all the time.
It kind of goes hand in hand with everything that I do like about her, because if something doesn't go exactly according to plan, there's always a plan B to everything that she has.
I love the Braves, but not as much as he does. Five years from now, I think that we will be in our brand new home.
Settled into our new home.
Growing in our marriage and traveling. I see us traveling quite a bit.
Already done some traveling, because that was our plan is before we have children is go see the world.
And just experience each other before we really start to grow a family.
Hopefully being in the same spot we are now with our feelings about each other, but even stronger.
Ernest, we have been looking forward to this day for 2 years, and I am so overjoyed to be able to call myself your wife.
Jennifer, we're getting married this weekend. I can't believe this day is already here.
I'm so honored to be able to spend the rest of my life to get to know you and to strengthen our marriage and grow our relationship with God and be able to make you happy for the rest of our lives.
Thank you. I'll tell you all the time, I'm thankful for God bringing you into my life.
I love you very much, and I can't wait.
Jennifer, I love you. Can't wait to see you walk down that aisle.